I'm Kelli Russell. Welcome to Rapid Transformation Sessions. I'll be sharing tips and tools that help you navigate thoughts, emotions, relationships, and energy so you can enjoy being alive, as well as real unscripted sessions with people who want to experience a change in their lives. All sessions are shared with permission. Nothing here is performed or polished. Something happens in these sessions. Awareness deepens, perspectives shift, offering new possibilities, growth, expansion, and deep transformation, not just for the person in session, but for you. Let's begin. My new book is out if you want to get it, The Human Guidebook, How to Navigate Thoughts, Emotions, and Relationships so you can enjoy being alive. It's filled with tools where you can learn how to think clearly instead of spiraling, stay present with your emotions instead of avoiding them, release old wounds and outdated subconscious programming, quiet the critical voice so you can access your real self, trust your intuition and your choices, and create a life that feels grounded, honest, and true to who you are. You can get it now on Amazon. Today I have Michelle with me. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
I'm excited that you're here with me today, and you have a topic that resonates with a lot of people. It's one about abundance, money, and feeling or believing that you can manage it well. And I asked you to create a goal statement. You said, I feel safe creating, holding, and growing wealth with ease and integrity. I can tell that was very well thought out, and it holds a lot of different aspects. And the word that interested me too was like integrity. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. So before we get into some processes to work on that neurosomatically, I was wondering if you'd be willing to share a little bit about your background. And you said that you're doing some inner work on money stuff right now, and a
Mhm.
lot of stuff started coming forth. You're like, oh, I'm seeing all this stuff from my childhood, and
Yeah.
whatever you'd feel comfortable sharing, I'd like to hear what
Um,
what you noticed.
Absolutely. I came from a very small town with low resources and a very sort of modest, I guess, upbringing where I was raised by like coal miners and stuff like that, like ranchers. And there wasn't like a ton of money. We always had enough, but
Mhm.
there was money was used to facilitate band-aids over emotional wounds. And it was also fought over violently so often and was the cause of so many breaches and literally violent interactions and it scared me and then also it was used to control me, so
So
it
who
was,
was spending or who was getting in trouble? Like, was it mom overspending and dad got mad, or what was the dynamic?
well, my parents divorced when I was 6 and they went into a war, a court, war over money essentially, and I felt often the cause of it because they were fighting over resources for us. And it caused my mom tremendous stress. She at one point had a major breakdown and took a leave from work and there was all this discussion around me regarding, she did not have boundaries or filters. So I was exposed to all her emotional stuff around it. And that was extremely damaging in
Mhm.
many ways. Um, and and then she was very controlling. And she's the one that used money to kind of manipulate me. And then my dad was just overly permissive with money. And he used it to make up for the fact that he was not available in any other way, you
Okay.
know.
And how did your mom control you with money?
She just made me treat her a certain, basically made me emotional. It felt like I received what I needed when I was basically caring for her emotional needs.
And if
And
you withdrew, then what?
well, then I was often like abused and emotionally or physically or and resources were withheld. And, there were times where I left her and went and lived with my dad. And as soon as I turned 18 and graduated, I left there the day after I graduated high school. I did not wait. I was gone
Yeah.
right away.
So would it
And
be like, okay, you're being really nice to me, so let's go shopping, let's buy you some stuff.
yeah,
Or if you're not helping her emotionally, then it's you may ask her for something and she'll say no or something like that.
no, it was more like she used, yeah, like shopping and getting
Mhm.
me nice things that I wanted, but there were these strings attached
Yeah.
to it because I needed to be there to make sure I made her look good, that I made her feel good, and I was basically, her only source of like pride and love. She
It's
made
a
me
lot of
the
pressure.
source. Yeah, it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Okay. And you said, I want to make a lot more money and not struggle with the management of it. So, what is a pattern maybe you've had in the past? Do you get a lot and spend it all, or what does your
Um,
pattern look like?
yeah, I went straight from my mom, pretty much met my ex-husband when I was 20, and he was very similar to her in the way he controlled and manipulated. And I fell right into the same pattern with him. And I was with him for 14 years. We had two children, and during that time, he controlled 100% of the resources. Made I mean, in the beginning, it wasn't like this, but it got to a point where I was convinced that I needed to, because we had children, I should leave my kind of schooling and everything. And he started to make all the money, and he started to make a lot of money, and he started to, yeah, there was just a huge power imbalance. And I
Mhm.
became the stay-at-home mom, and he became the provider. And again, like I had to ask for what I needed.
Mm.
Everything was a negotiation, which often left me with not getting what I needed. And it was very, very toxic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and he chose to work. He became kind of like a workaholic, and chose. I could see that he valued his paycheck and his money much more than he valued me.
Okay.
And that was painful. Um, and and yeah, I just feel like I've associated money with so many difficult things. Then when we got divorced, I got a settlement, and I, of course, handed that right off to a financial advisor because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't trust myself with it. So I handed it off to a financial advisor who paid himself to lose money. So then I took it back and kept it for a while in just a savings account, and then finally trusted somebody else who did something similar, just not to the same degree. Just was not, what I learned was people just didn't really care as much as I did, and the way that it was set up. And because I didn't know, and I didn't educate myself, and I didn't advocate for what was best for me, they just kind of took advantage of the situation. And and I learned that I couldn't trust myself. So I then put the money in an account and I left it there. And I've had so many things I've had to deal with emotionally, physically, and as a single mom, and with trying to manage a very intense career. I just left it and I went into complete avoidance.
Mm,
Avoidance, denial, and I was in survival mode and I would do my best and then look at it, when I needed some money, I would withdraw little bits at a time. And over like 14, I think it's been about 14 years, that financial settlement from the divorce has dwindled down to like very little.
okay.
And I've found myself, realizing my irresponsibility in it all. Like
Okay.
my lack of responsibility is what it boils down to. And responsibility, because a lot of the time I was not able to
Mhm.
respond to it in a way that was, um, you know, in an adult way, because I was struggling so much with complex PTSD, layered with PTSD, layered with the stress of trying to provide everything for the children. And
Mhm.
I've had to work through forgiveness for myself for that, or maybe I still am. And also just, resentment stuff towards their dad, because the settlement that I received was not what was due to me. He spent a lot of years hiding money,
Mm,
and because I allowed that to happen in the divorce and I settled instead of fighting for what was rightfully mine. I took a lesser amount, and then that lesser amount I did not manage well. And it came down to, a point where like I cannot avoid and deny any longer.
yeah.
Like, and my children are technically adults, and I've got this new space in my life to focus on myself where
Okay.
I haven't been able to do that before.
Well,
Um,
congratulations on having two adult children and you made it. Like you made it through because you're
I
like, if
don't
I
know.
could
Yeah,
just, right? If
I
I can
don't know
just raise
how.
my kids and get through this. And so you're like, phew, like you climbed the mountain, you made it to the other side, and now you're like,
Hmm.
okay, now let's take a look at everything.
Yeah.
And you told me before we came on together that you just joined a women's group for financial literacy. And so now you're taking charge. So that is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm like, okay, this is bad, but at least I'm catching it
Hmm.
before, I don't have a bunch of debt. I still have good
Yeah,
credit. I don't have
good.
much money left. And I am in a position where I'm having to create a new career because
Okay.
I'm physically unable to do what I've been doing. So,
Did you
there's
want
a
to
lot of
share?
pressure.
Do you feel comfortable sharing what you do? And that's fine if you don't want to talk
Yeah,
about that.
I've been a holistic health practitioner, so I've done
Mhm.
massage therapy and energy healing, craniosacral kind of work, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I can still do some of it, but I'm not because it was clear to me intuitively that through this injury that the universe was telling me no, like you
Okay.
need to stop. Giving, I had to go to a point where I needed to stop giving to my clients because I could not
Mm,
put my needs before the clients or the children's or the friends. Like I was kind of in like a codependent burnout,
okay.
and it physically burned out, or it physically manifested. So I saw the opportunity to, just dig deep and look at all of this stuff that's been running, all these unconscious
Hmm.
programs and things that have been running my life. And if I want to create something new, I have to really pull out the
Mhm.
roots and fertilize the
Okay.
soil. And
And when the subconscious becomes conscious, then we can make a change.
yeah,
Yeah. And in the
yeah,
past, money had meant power over
yeah,
other,
yeah,
right? So I can understand why there was just like, get this away from me. I don't understand this. Let's just keep it over here. Somebody else do it. I don't want to look at it. So
yeah,
it's understandable. And now you're willing to look at it head on. You're like, all right, let's bring it all to light, let's address it, and let's move through it. Um,
yeah.
so do you have any ideas about something you would like to do with your work now?
Yeah, I have some ideas. I think I may go into some sort of mentoring or coaching kind
Mm-hmm.
of role. Yeah. I mean, I generally do that for free for a lot of people anyway. So I'm thinking about finding a way to, package that and market that in a
Uh-huh.
way that is in alignment with who I want to be and or who I am at my core. And integrity is so important to me, like staying within, you know,
Yeah.
integrity with myself and just trusting that the rest will work out
Mm-hmm.
because I've compromised that and
Okay.
I've suffered the consequences,
Okay. So you're like,
So,
no more. We're not doing that
no,
anymore.
we're not doing that anymore.
Okay. Okay, well, let's get into it. So we're going to start with an acuemotional resonance point. There are about 16 different points I'm working with through Chinese medicine that has been around for thousands of years, where some of them deal with certain meridians that lead to organs that deal with emotion. So the one
Hmm.
that I've selected based on our topic today is the spleen. It's called spleen 4, and the
Hmm.
nickname to this point is Prince's grandson. And some of the symptoms one might have that this addresses is worry, overthinking, obsessive thoughts, lack, scarcity, inherited grief, emotional themes that repeat through generations, feeling disconnected from your emotional center, like you've lost the thread of your own story, maybe feeling a little emotionally scattered, unsure of what they feel or why. It's as if your inner world has become chaotic or hollow. And this promotes grounding, calming, gratitude, a powerful reminder of our connection to the earth's abundance. It restores our trust in nature and the universe and calms the spirit. So we're going to start with your left foot. And if you can sit like left ankle over right knee in a baby figure 4 position, that would be
Yeah.
best. Okay, now you're going to follow the line of the big toe, top of the toe, to where you're going to feel this bony nodule that's above the arch of the foot. So you're on the base of the big toe, you start traveling up the foot, and you're going to feel this bony protrusion.
On the top of the foot?
Hmm. So
Yeah.
if
I
you
feel
were to
it.
go travel now down, it's going to be just like about the arch of the foot, the front part of the arch of the foot, but we're going to find the point between that top bony protrusion and the
Hmm.
arch itself. And there's a fleshy part in the middle of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then we are going to make little tiny circles. So you're pressing down and in. And we are going to go clockwise. So with I like to use my thumb. I think that's probably the most powerful as you're touching the foot here. And the pressure is medium pressure. It's not too firm, it's not too soft. Just little tiny circles as you're pushing down and in to stimulate the energy there. So we are strengthening or tonifying this area, and that's for grounding, calming, abundance, a feeling that we're being taken care of by the universe. It gently gathers the pieces, it brings cohesion, like stitching a fabric back together. And it nurtures a sense of belonging, not just in the world, but in one's own skin, quietly reclaiming your body as a safe home. So we're going to continue to roll the point for about 1 minute, and then we'll hold even pressure. This name origin, I love, the prince's grandson, is a point used to access the abundance that exists in this very moment. Who is more spoiled than the grandchild? And is there any grandchild richer than a prince's grandchild? This point brings a deep sense of calm and a feeling of trust that we're being taken care of by the universe. So now just hold steady, even pressure right at that point. And you can close your eyes if you like. Just breathe fully into your belly using your diaphragm. Okay, now we'll switch to the opposite side. So you'll go right ankle over left thigh as you're sitting down like a figure four. You're going to follow the line of the big toe up the foot until you feel that first big bony protrusion. It's like top of the foot. Then go lower towards the arch of the foot. It's about halfway down, and there's that fleshy part right there. Not quite to the sole of the foot yet, about halfway down. We're going to go the same direction clockwise, little tiny circles up and around to the right and back down, up and around to the right and back down. And those who are listening, you can practice this with us, restoring your belief in the earth's abundance. You are being taken care of. Now hold steady, even pressure at that point for about 1 minute. Okay, you can release that point now. The next thing we'll do is something called cross crawls. It's a brain balancing technique. So when we're in a state of stress, which let's be honest, most of us in our culture are in a state of stress. We're either in the right hemisphere of the brain, which is very emotional, or the left hemisphere, which is logical, but it can be overly analytical. I'm going down the rabbit hole, I'm spinning out. Scientists have hooked people up to electrodes and study that. So you see a lot of activity on one side or the other, but not a lot on both. So this activity quickly stimulates energy on both hemispheres of the brain. And it gives you a different perspective. If you're stuck in emotion, it pulls in logic. If you're over mentalizing, going down the rabbit hole, it pulls in the creativity of the right hemisphere, and suddenly a new possibility is available that wasn't previously noticed. So it's called a brain balance. So the way that you do that, and you can be seated, you could be standing. If you ever wanted to do this while you're laying back on your couch or your bed, that's fine too. It's like marching in place where you'll lift your right leg and you'll tap it with the left hand. And then you open your arms like goalposts. And then you lift the left leg and you tap it with your right hand. And then the arms go like goalposts. So now we get into a rhythm where we go opposite hand, opposite thigh, opposite hand, opposite thigh, opposite hand, opposite thigh. Keep your chin facing forward. Just with your eyeballs, look up and to the right. Lock your eyes there. I'll count us from 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking up and to the left. Everything else stays the same. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, just let that settle. Take a few rounds of breath. Relax your hands down to your thighs. What I'll have us do next, I nicknamed the 4x10 liminal power breath. A liminal space is an in-between space, like a hallway between two rooms. We are going to be doing 10 vigorous breaths in and out of the mouth in each of the 4 cross body positions. And then we're going to expel all the breath out, holding on empty for about 1.5 minutes. And if at any time you need to take a tiny little sip of air, you can just go. After which we will take a great big inhale, fill all the way to the top, and then we're going to squeeze our body. I noticed as I listened to the last time I recorded this, my noise canceling headphones, you can't hear the sound of the breath. So it's very voluminous. It's very vigorous. Let's see if I hold the mic up a little closer where it goes. It's wild. Okay. So I am breathing really loud, like you can hear a
Yeah.
whooshing sound, but my headphones are canceling it out.
So like,
Yeah, like, and going in the same way and out the same way,
okay.
like sucking the air in and pushing the air out, just like you have one of those boba straws. So your mouth will be like an O shape.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. And I will walk us through each and every step. Sometimes near the end, you get a little bit lightheaded. That's normal. Um, if you have any condition that makes you need to stop for any reason, listen to your body. You can stop if needed. But most people find that they can do it, and I'll guide us through each and every step. So bring your right ankle over the left, right wrist over the left, interlace your fingers, thumbs down, put your hands into your lap. Okay. Now, when we do these crossbody position, the right hemisphere controls the left side of the body, and the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body. So when we do crossbody, the corpus callosum in the middle of the brain starts to talk to one another. So it gets that stimulation. So making an O shape with your mouth, we're going to do 10 deep, vigorous breaths. Let's begin. That should be 5. That should be 10. Lick your lips, swallow, uncross your arms, recross left wrist over the right. Turn your thumbs down, interlace your fingers, put your hands in between your thighs and your lap. 10 breaths, let's go. Lick your lips, swallow. We're halfway there. Switch the crossing of the legs. 10 more breaths. Let's begin. Let's go. You okay? Okay, 10 breaths. Let's go. Oh, you need to stop. Lick your lips, swallow. Switch the crossing of the arms. We have the last 10 breaths. Let's begin. Okay, one more deep breath in. Exhale all of the breath out. Hold on empty. So you are hyperoxygenated. Do your best to stay on empty. Even though your throat is locked, relax the muscles around the throat a little bit. See if you can lift your chest, roll your shoulders back. Create space in your internal organs and your belly. Bring your awareness down to your feet, keeping this body posture. Wiggle your toes. Relax your lower legs. Relax your calves. Relax your thighs a bit. Keeping this upright posture, see if you can relax your buttocks a bit. Making space in your internal organs, your belly. That is the liminal space, like that pocket of space. Softening your shoulders away from your ears, relaxing your upper arms, your forearms, your fingers. Bringing your awareness up to your throat, softening your throat, your jaw, your mouth, your cheeks. Space between your brows, your forehead, every hair on your head, your ears. In about 10 seconds, we're going to take a huge breath of air in. We're going to hold the top of the inhale and squeeze. So make an O shape now. Let's do that. Great big inhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And then hold and then squeeze. Close your eyes, flex your ankles, pull your hands against one another, engage your core, pull your shoulders down into your strong core, pull your hands against one another, scrunch up your face like you're tasting a very sour lemon, squeeze your hair and your ears, create that dynamic core strength. Again, squeeze your butt and your thighs for 5, a little bit tighter, 4, as much energy as you can create, 3, dynamic tension, 2, and 1, let it go. Okay, we're going to keep the limbs crossed, but if you like, you can just have one wrist over the other instead of interlacing the fingers if that feels too tight or it hurts the joints at all. And we're going to close our eyes. And I'll start by setting our intention that we put our highest self, our wisdom self, our super conscious in charge. Everything we do is for your best and highest overall good, to get the most enjoyment, fulfillment, abundance out of life. And we ask to create powerful, positive, noticeable changes that are assimilated with ease and grace. And we'll add gratitude. I am grateful and thankful we can do this together. Now, if you'd like to silently or out loud set your own intention or prayer, go ahead and set that now. Once it feels complete, keep your eyes closed and say, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you and I are opening up a pocket of space, like a quantum field of energy, like our own personal one. And in this space, we are able to view your experiences, your relationships, the amazing life you're creating from a more cosmic and timeless lens. In this field, there is a possibility to see the unseen, to know the unknown, to heal the unhealed, to love the unloved, to forgive the unforgivable, maybe, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. We are, for this time, suspended in this spaciousness that allows our higher wisdom to come in, offering new possibilities, growth, expansion, and deep transformation. So I'm going to have you sit in meditation for 4 minutes after asking you a question to your higher self. And sometimes information pops in and sometimes it does not. So there's no worries if it doesn't. And sometimes you get an inner knowing or a feeling in your body, or you might hear words. Sometimes you might hear song lyrics or receive a symbol of something. So being open to all forms of communication. And it's more like tuning into a receiving mode. You're not trying to come up with an answer. You're just seeing if something comes to you. And sometimes, even if you get a little bit of information, sometimes you get 2 or 3 little bits. And sometimes information comes in at the last second. So I'm going to have you wait that entire 4 minutes. Those that are practicing at home with us, this is your opportunity to do this for yourself too. Okay. In order to feel safe, creating, holding, and growing wealth with ease and integrity, what do I need to see, hear, know, or understand? I'll say that again. In order to feel safe, creating, holding, and growing wealth with ease and integrity, what do I need to see, hear, know, or understand? We're just going to see what pops in. And like I said, no worries if it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. I'll let you know when it's been 4 minutes. Okay, so let's come back to present moment. And you can open your eyes. If you do have water nearby, you're welcome to grab a drink of water. So did anything pop in?
Um, yeah, I was surprised because I did see like a lot of different colors and light, and like some of that color was like a heart that came in sort of through light. It was like a pink heart that came in, and I was getting the sense that I need to feel love for myself and trust. And then I was shown a bunch of elephants gathering around. I think reminding me that I'm supported. Um, because it really comes to down to just being able to feel safe doing that. And I, in the past, have had a lot of fear around being seen and being a target for anything because it's so difficult for me to hold firm boundaries, especially with certain types of people.
Mm.
So anything that puts me in the spotlight, which would be money is one of them,
Mm.
it my nervous system has associated with danger and not being safe. So that's why I feel like now I'm seeing why the love, the heart came in, the self-love and the trust, because I feel like if I can feel worthy
Mhm.
and trusting of myself, then I will feel safer. And I also heard something come in that said something like, you, as much as anyone in the universe, deserves love
Oh,
and prosperity and connection.
where do you think that voice came from? What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. But I know that I've struggled with that for a very, very long time. At the root of a lot of my stuff is just that not feeling, worthy of being loved or having my needs met or, you know, having like joy even. It's been a journey to coming to understand that I have that basic, right and worthiness, that I don't have to earn it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I, well, you got a lot in these 4 minutes, right? And that,
Yeah, I was very surprised.
yeah. And I have to share with the people listening, before we got on today, you were a little concerned
Mhm.
about the visualization. And I was wondering if you have something called aphantasia,
Mhm.
where there's like 2 to 4% of the population that can't see visuals. So we talked about that. And I was like, if I ask you to see a red apple or a green apple, can you see it? And you're like, no. I mean, I know what it is, obviously, but I can't see it in my mind's eye. And I said, don't worry about
Yeah,
it. And you said, sometimes when I do breath work, I can get some
yeah.
visuals. So that's really
I
interesting.
think that process that you do before really
Mhm.
helped. And then also I feel like my invocation, my prayer helps.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, and also I really intended and also said a prayer beforehand to just be open, just to really be open and ready to receive whatever needs to come in, for the highest good, instead of worrying about, how to,
Do it right.
control. Yeah, do
Yeah.
it right. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what you described to me, I plugged into ChatGPT to say what do elephants symbolize? Across cultures, elephants consistently symbolize strength with steadiness, protective community, matriarchal wisdom, long memory, loyalty and support, grounded power. They represent a force that moves slowly, deliberately, and cannot be easily shaken. And then you are shown light and color, a pink heart emerging, elephants gathering around you. So there's light, heart, herd. So there's awareness opening, there is self-love activating, there's support organizing around you. Elephants gathering is rarely about attack, it is about protecting and belonging. In the wild, they form circles around what matters. They guard their young, they protect their injured, they move as a unit. Your
Mm.
system may be showing you that you do not stand alone. When you're visible, you stand supported. How beautiful. Dang, I was getting chills as I was reading it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And I know that on some level.
And you were just reminded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's work with your goal statement, and we're going to create some ideas about what it would look like in your life, and then what it could sound like and what it would feel like. So we call those visual, auditory, and somatic symbolic cues. So we're going to play with the idea that this is already happening. Like this is already your new reality. Sometimes I like to look at it like there's a graph with quadrants on it. And you can imagine your life going on this line on the graph. And then this shift that we're making is like a quantum shift that allows you to shift your line on the graph. So it's almost like you're stepping into a new lifeline in which this Michelle is experiencing this reality. Like this is your new reality now. And what might this Michelle be experiencing in her life that would show her she's already achieved this goal? And we're going to create three different scenarios where it's like, well, this Michelle would be doing this and that and this. And you might see it in your mind and you might not. Maybe we
Mhm.
just play around with some ideas. So you don't have to even
Yeah.
close your eyes if you don't want to. We can just chat.
Okay.
So I'm going to repeat your statement to you. I feel safe creating, holding, and growing wealth with ease and integrity. And we could even imagine that you've been doing that for some time now and you're in a different position. So it's like, wow, what would be possible with all that? What would my life look like?
Mm.
And we're going to give you really specific, like kind of like a photograph come to life. So who are you with? Where are you at? What are you doing? What's the circumstance? What time of day might it be? It could be like, I'm on the French
Mhm.
Riviera with friends on a yacht,
Yeah.
sipping a green juice in my yellow bikini. So what would you like to see? What do you see when you're safe with all this?
Um, I see a lot of travel plans. Um,
Let's get more specific. Like, for example, you could be
yeah.
out on your deck, overlooking the ocean on your laptop, booking your next flight. It could be something like that, or you're on an airplane somewhere, or you've already arrived somewhere and you're doing something. What would you like to see?
Yeah, I have different, like, there's traveling alone, traveling with my children, and then traveling with friends. So I have like different travel ideas, but for
Let's
me,
I was
just
going
should
to
I
say,
just
let's
start
just
with
choose
me?
one to play with. And it
Yeah,
doesn't mean there's a hierarchy. Like one is not more
right.
important than the other, but let's just choose one to flesh
Well, I'm
out a
gonna
little bit.
choose just me then.
Okay. So where are
Um,
you at?
I am standing on the balcony of this beautiful cabin looking out at the sun setting over Mount Rainier.
What time of the year is it? You might tell by the way you're dressed.
It looks like summer. And
What else stands out about that scene? Like, do you have a snack or a beverage? And what do you see as you look out the balcony?
I see lots of beautiful trees, some snow at the very top. So maybe it's spring.
Mm.
And
What do you think?
some hiking trails and a cup of tea, hot tea.
What do you think the look on your face would be?
Mm. I would say just deep gratitude and I don't know, contentment.
And are you standing overlooking the railing or sitting down at a table?
Sitting down in a like wooden rocking chair, and there's a table next to me with tea.
Okay,
And
we're just gonna pause right there. That was
yeah.
beautiful. We'll let that image fade into a million particles of golden glitter, almost like one of those fireworks. And we're going to go to this white space of all possibility. There's no ceiling or floor or walls. It's just like mental playground. And then we'll invite in a second image where you feel safe creating, holding, and growing wealth with ease and integrity. What else are you experiencing that shows you've already achieved that?
The first thing that comes up is the freedom to support um, the friends and the organizations that I believe in.
Let's see if you can get a little bit more specific. Like, where are you at? Who are you with? What are you doing?
Mm. For some reason, I went to kind of like a healing or wellness retreat.
Yeah. Do you do you have a specific place in mind?
I don't know why the place Mount Shasta just came to mind, but
Okay.
I've never been there, so I
Okay.
don't know why that came.
Do
I
you
mean, I want to go, but it calls me, but I've never been there. So.
Okay, maybe that's a sign. Do you see yourself in a room with other people or getting a treatment by yourself?
Yeah, I see myself in like a healing session where there's music and some kind of smoke and feathers.
Are you outdoors or indoors?
Indoors.
Smoke like as like a inside of a teepee where you're doing
Yeah,
a heated
like,
ceremony?
yeah, it feels like maybe it's sage or Palo Santo or something. I don't, Palo Santo,
Mhm. And are there other people or just you?
just me.
And just one other person guiding you or multiple people?
Right now, just one.
Okay. And you're lying down?
Yeah, with a blanket and a lot of, yeah, it's very comfortable.
And is the other person like holding hands above you or hands on you, or are they playing an instrument or anything? What are they
Yeah,
doing?
it's kind of like around me and above me. Feels, I don't know, feels kind of like I've never met with a shaman, but it feels like I would expect like what some something like a session with a shaman might be like.
Okay. We're going to pause there, allow that image to fade into a million particles of golden glitter. I'm going to go back to that white space of all possibility and call in one more visual. I feel safe. It could be I am safe, creating, holding, growing wealth with ease and integrity. What else is happening in your life?
I'm getting to purchase a home that is large, like in terms of what I'm accustomed to lately.
Mm. Do you get a sense for what city or state or country it's in?
Um, maybe Idaho.
Mhm. And the way you're seeing it, are you signing the papers on it or are you walking around your beautiful home? Does it seem like you've lived there for a while or it's all brand new? How would you like to envision that?
I'm walking around the kitchen. It feels like maybe new-ish,
But furnished.
but yeah, furnished
Okay.
and I'm able to have both my parents living there. And I want to, yeah, that's all I see right now. I want, yeah, that's all I can see is there's different space, it looks like, for them.
Okay. Like within, like its own
Like
wing or it has an
separate,
add-on? Yeah.
yeah, like a separate area for
Okay.
them. It's like yeah, like a separate part of the house.
Okay. Let's,
And
oh,
then And then I have my own space, my own part.
Okay. Let's allow that image to fade into a million particles of golden glitter. We're going to change to auditory now, and if you like, you can open your eyes. This is an inside job, but when you become this way, other people might notice something about you. So what would you hear people saying about you? They may be like, wow, she's so good with money. I wish I could be like her one day. Or they'd be like, I hope she can mentor me and all that she's learned. What do you think? What would they say?
Um, wow, look how far she's come.
What would you say to yourself in your own mind?
Um, that it's not necessary, I think would reassure or remind myself, like I told you, it wasn't necessary to struggle and suffer in order to get what you needed, you know?
How would all of that feel when you are safe, you're creating, holding, growing wealth, ease and integrity? What would that feel like described in one word?
Oh gosh, probably just like Eden.
Okay,
That's
I'm going to have you do your best right here and right now to pull Eden into your body, into your physiology. You may have to self-generate it. Like, what would that feel like? And then once you're feeling it, tell me where in your body do you feel that the most?
Oh, I feel it a lot right here and right here.
So that's on your chest and your forehead. What does it feel like there?
I don't know, it kind of just feels like there's something there, like when you have like a shawl on and a hat or something, it just feels like a lightweight kind of.
Yeah. So this feeling, it has its own qualities. And just answer with the first thing that pops into your mind. Some of it might not even make sense. What color is this feeling?
Yellow,
What shape is it?
triangle,
What temperature is it?
specifically or just general.
Either.
Um, it feels neutral, like maybe 70 degrees or something as far as air goes. Yeah.
What texture does it have? How does it feel when you touch it?
Like soft, like suede or velvet.
What smell would you associate with this feeling?
Sandalwood.
What about a taste?
Orange.
What about a sound?
Sounds like a choir or something like that.
Go back to that feeling at your chest and your forehead, that feeling of Eden. And then when you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Mm.
So, what do you feel is the biggest roadblock to this?
Well, it's always fear.
Okay. How do you want to be instead of afraid?
Fully trusting and having faith.
Faith in what? And trust in what?
Faith and trust in just the universe that I'm always protected, and everything that's, just that trusting that everything that's meant for me stays and everything that's not leaves, and really just fully trusting that. Um, and trusting it mainly comes down to just being safe, though.
And that's something we have to create inside of ourselves because we cannot, like, we're co-creating with other people. So we don't know what other people will
Mhm.
do, what Mother Nature might do,
Yeah.
what's going on in the world. And it's like, I trust myself. I feel safe inside of my own skin.
Mhm.
I will guide myself the most appropriately that I can in any given situation. I can pivot if needed. And I find that with stuff like abundance and trust, it's a lot like the yin and the yang symbol. It must be a dance. If you
Mm.
were just to sit back and wait on the couch, like, okay, universe, I'm
Mhm.
ready to receive all of my gifts.
Right.
Often we click into stagnation. Um, and if
Mm.
you're over efforting, it's like you're paddling uphill on a canoe and you're trying, and you're just like burning out and hitting your head on the wall. So it has to be the dance between effort and magic. It's like I am
Mhm.
taking inspired action. I'm listening to inner guidance or guidance from universe source, but I'm also taking action, even if it's scary.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Deliberate, intentional
Mhm.
action. Yes.
Yes. And so one foot
Yes,
in front
which
of the
is
other.
what I'm doing with this financial
Yeah,
literacy course.
that's right.
Yeah.
I have this kind of question along this vein too. Like you said, if I were to have a lot of money, that makes me more visible. And that can, let's see, let me find the words there.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I I think my question is this, like, if you were to become more visible, and you did not wish to be afraid of being visible or, attracting the wrong sort of person that's going to come in.
Mm-hmm.
What qualities do you wish to have as you have money?
Mm, qualities. I mean,
Because it could be like awake and aware and strong and boundaried,
yeah.
you know? So
Yeah, well, definitely all of those, and creative and kind and compassionate, with strong, firm boundaries. Yeah. Those boundaries are so important, the
Mhm.
internal and the external. Yeah.
And what if you attract those like scary types that like to overpower, or narcissist types, or the ones that are
Hmm.
like, hey, I'm just going to come in here and take control of all
Yeah.
of this for you, how are you going to handle that?
Hmm. Uh, by saying no, thank you. I am, I am good. I am, I am creating my own, foundation and lifestyle.
Okay, I want you to say no, thank you with a little bit more zhuzh,
Mm,
like you mean it.
absolutely not.
You're like, no, thank you.
Absolutely not.
Give me a high 10.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
but no, thank you. All right, let's create
Yeah.
a few action steps for you. So, aside from taking this course that you're taking, what are some things that you can start doing right away to be this?
Mm, maybe being more generous with my heart and my time with those I love. Um,
Is there something specific, like would you like to invite them over for a meal, or go have some snuggle time on the couch and watch a movie? Like, what is it?
I think just do more fun. Yeah, just do more fun things with friends. One of the things that came up in the inventory I was doing yesterday was that I didn't expect was that if I had a lot more money, it would threaten a lot of my very good friendships, or it could potentially, cause
And
a lot of imbalance and threat to those dynamics that are so important to me. And I think that's another thing.
how would you handle that if that happened?
Well, it's really just going back to the trust in myself to be clear in my communication, clear, compassionate in my communication, and also um, trusting that with clear, compassionate, kind communication, those who are meant to move forward with me move forward. And if there's some issue for them, then, that would be their issue. Um, but yeah, there's definitely something there because I want, yeah, it just, yeah, it definitely brings up like the dynamics that come up sometimes in some groups of mine, which is where people have a lot of money and there others don't. And then there's all this like hurt feelings and like resentments that start to happen when the group wants to go do something that's
Mhm.
expensive, and then
Yeah,
there's others that like feel
left
like
out.
left out, and all of that can be resolved with proper communication, but it's not been I've worked really hard on that and I'm getting much better, but that has been an absolute uh difficulty for me in the past.
Okay.
especially in certain dynamics, to communicate honestly and openly and effectively. That has been very challenging. So I think
Practicing that more.
practicing that more.
Okay.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
more you practice, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more you do hard things, the more that part of your brain grows that allows you to do hard things with more ease. But we have to move forward even when we don't want to.
Right.
Yeah. And then that part
That's,
grows and then it becomes more easeful.
and then I trust myself more,
Hmm.
which is what is required. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes people are so afraid to take moves because they go, oh no, what if I make a mistake? You know?
Mhm.
And it can be challenging with money, especially if you want to play bigger because you don't want to be so risky. But with smaller moves and stuff or medium moves, you can always pivot. You just start walking down a path and you're like, oh no, this is not the path for me. Let's pivot over here and start
Mhm.
walking down that path. And
Mhm.
it's more, and then with the onset of AI and stuff, it's just I've been hearing from experts that are like
Mhm.
the best skill that you can have is like maneuverability, adaptability. How can
Yeah.
you evolve quickly and try different things? So that's going to be like the new strength, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can I juke and jive and flow?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like my brain hurts from all that I'm having to like integrate and associate and learn and grow with right now. I'm like, could we just have maybe like a 3 month like
Yeah.
sabbatical where I just rest, you know?
Okay, one last question. Since the new age kind of requires that of us,
Mm-hmm.
how do you want to handle that? Because we don't want to do it with burnout and stress and overwhelm and fall into a hole. We want to be able to go, okay, there's information bombarding
Mm-hmm.
us like never before. We're meant
Yeah.
to contain so much going on in the world that we probably shouldn't have to have in our capacity. So with all that, how do you want to handle that?
Mm, yeah, that's important. I think for me, I'd have to have a lot of boundaries around just how much time I'm on digital devices and also a lot of um, priority around spending time out in nature with other human beings, you know?
Okay. All right. We're getting close to saying goodbye, but I'm going to give you a homework assignment. So please grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down um, how much time you'd like to spend on digital devices. So, and this you can brainstorm later and decide, but like, how much
Yeah.
time would I like to spend on digital devices? And how am I going to monitor that? What is one fun thing I'd like to do with friends or a friend that I would like to plan right away, or at least get on the books? It could be a month
Mm,
from now, but it's like
yeah.
that fun thing you'd like to do. And then you said, I wanted to be a priority to spend time in nature. So what does that mean? Once a day, once a week? Do I go on a hike? Do I sit outside? And if you can time block that onto your calendar, that's how we make things happen. Like highly successful
Hmm.
people are fully scheduled because you just go,
Right.
I mean, even to your playtime and your love time and your fun time, it's like, no, that's what we're doing right now. Otherwise, the day gets away with you and all these little tasks fill it in and you're like, shoot, I didn't do anything I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So putting it in the calendar and then look at it before you go to bed, look at it in the morning, like, wait, what am I doing today? Yes, that's right. I'm walking outside for an hour and then I'm going to call my friend or whatever it is that you want to do. And then I'm going to unplug my phone and I'm going to put it in a drawer for 5 hours, while I work on my money class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it's been such a delight.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for
Um,
having me. It's been a really incredible experience, and I was so, so surprised with how much I was able to visualize after. I was like, I don't usually visualize,
that's awesome.
but it was so there's something
It was,
supporting this session today.
yeah, or just giving yourself permission, or it's like it doesn't have to
Or
be perfect. Let's just see
yeah,
what
or
happens. And
maybe
you're
I was able to release something before. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Stay on with me for a moment.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope that you too did some of these activities with us and you got some downloads of information and some great ideas for your own life. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.